Hello everyone, my name is Sumit. Welcome yet again to another video in the CBAP interview series. Today we are joined by Chidimma, who has recently completed her CBAP. Hi Chidimma, how are you?
Hi, Sumit. Hi, everyone. I'm good.
Congratulations on your CBAP, Chidimma. Yes. So today we will be talking to Chidimma about her experience cracking the CBAP examination. We'll be asking her about her process of learning as well as get some helpful tricks. But before we begin, Chidimma, can you just talk about your career, a bit about yourself as a business analyst?
Okay. Okay, good day. My name is Chidimma Wachuku. I'm from Nigeria and I'm in Nigeria. Um, I work with a financial institution and I've always done analysis. Yes, my job function is not defined as a business analyst, but the duties I do, it's the duties of a business analyst. I have worked as a BA or done business analysis job since 2012. So that's about 10 years now, and I just had certification recently.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and when did you do your CBF certification, Chidimma?
Okay, that was in April 2022. I think April 14 precisely.
Nice, nice. And when did you decide in your career, your 10-year career, that I want to do the CBAP certification?
Okay, that was last year in 2021. I've always loved analysis, but I didn't know there was something like CBAP, and till last year, I needed to do something. I was actually looking for like a master's program on business analysis to do till I stumbled online that you actually don't need masters for this since you already have a master's in a related subject. You can do business analysis certification, that is CBAP, through the IIBA. And then I registered as a member of IIBA and started following the lectures on IIBA and then decided to take the exam.
Great, great. And talk about a bit about your preparation process, Chidima. So you obviously had your existing role, your job. There was obviously your existing workload. How did you manage your preparation of the CBAP examination along with your existing workload?
Oh, okay. That was a very difficult thing for me to do because I work 8 to 5 p.m. and I have children as well and some other engagements. But the key to success is determination and consistency. So what I do was to allocate time to studies. I allocate 2 hours every evening to study the Babok. So once I come back from work and then sort out my family and all that, I focus on the studies. I actually took my time, take it one step at a time. Then on a daily basis, I do 2 hour studies. Yes, initially it wasn't easy. It was as if I was reading novel. It wasn't making sense, but I just read it as novel for the first time. Then the second time, I started relating it to the work I do. So I could actually like synchronize it with what I do and make it easier for me to understand and then practice.
That's great advice. Thanks. So what was the most challenging part in your preparation process?
Well, I would say every part of it was challenging. After reading the Babok for 2 times, I tried doing a simulation and I think I scored 35% or 40% thereabouts. And it was demoralizing, it was challenging, and I decided to just give it the push. But the most difficult part of it for me was actually understanding the IT part of it, like what's the meaning of unified modeling language, some of the calculations you see in Babok, some things like um, user stories and all that till someone actually put me through and it started making sense. And then some of the notes too on Techcanvass also helped me as well. I know in Techcanvass, there's a place like, I'm trying to remember the name, where it gave case studies.
Yes.
And then explanation on the case studies, exactly. So those were the areas that really helped me to understand most of those ones. And I think most of those questions actually fall under the techniques. So understanding the techniques and the application of the techniques, like relating the techniques to the knowledge areas, was actually a little bit difficult for me until I then looked at that part of Techcanvass and then asked questions, and it was a bit easier for me to understand. And immediately I understood the techniques, understanding the knowledge areas became easy.
True, true. Yeah, that's very important. I mean, relating real life experience to the BA really helps if you
Exactly.
can do that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you talked about your challenge in terms of balancing your personal life with your work life. You also talked about how the BA itself, getting to know about it is a bit tough. So when in your preparation process did you realize that, okay, now you're confident to give the exam? Was it any specific moment? Was it any specific area when you, or any practice exam you gave, and then you understood that, okay, now I'm ready for the CBAP examination?
Oh yeah. Techcanvass specifically said once you score 85% and above, you should be confident. So I started the simulations. At the time, I started getting used to the BABOK. So I started having the 120 question simulations like every week. But once I finished studying BABOK, I do the simulation. I think the second time I did that, I got 60 something, around 67%. Then I tried that again. I got 75%. From the time I started getting 75%, I knew I was ready. Then at the time, I started getting 80, 85. The week I got 80, 85 was the week I wrote the exam.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah,
At the
yeah.
week I got 80, then the second day I got 85, the second day 85, the next day 89. I quickly registered for the exam the next day and then searched for it. That
Yeah,
that
you
was
were on a roll. That's great. Yeah, nice. So, Chidema, how much time did it take? How many months did it take for your preparation process?
okay. I work full time, and just as I said, I have children, so mine actually took a longer time. I started preparing in July, and that was July 2021. My intention was to write the exam in December, but that December I wasn't fully prepared. I shifted it to January, I wasn't prepared. Shifted it to February, I wasn't also prepared. Till March. So I would say it took me a longer time. But when I gave the studies, when I started giving it time, like studying, preparing for exam. Or from July, I was actually reading it like a story. But I started preparing for the exam from February. And then I wrote the exam in April.
Okay, okay. And so, looking back, do you think you should have given more time, or lesser time would have been better instead of stressing over a longer time? What do you think is the right ideal preparation time?
Well, what I tell people is do what is comfortable and convenient for you. Our strengths are not the same. If I wasn't working, I think I can actually crack it in maximum of 3 months. But because I had other engagements and other things, I wasn't giving it the 100% attention it required. So I think if anyone who has the time and gives it the dedication it requires can pass CBAP in 3 months.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, that's good advice. And okay, so Chidima, please talk us through the exam day. You talked about obviously being on a bit of a roll, doing pretty well in the preparation exams. So, how was your exam day experience like? Were there any? Were you nervous? What preparations did you take on that day?
The on the exam day, yeah, I would say the experience was good. This is actually the first time I'm writing an online exam, a remote exam. On that day, I got connected to the proctor. One thing that actually tried to throw me off was the scanning. He asked me to scan the room. I did. He asked me to do that again. We did that like over 15 minutes. Each time he said, okay, scan under the table. And at the time I started getting nervous Before the exam also, he asked me to rescan my ID card and then present myself well and all that. There was a time, I think I was tired or something, and he kept saying, take your hand off your neck, take your hand, put your face at the middle of the camera and all that. But generally, it was okay. Generally, it was good.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, do you have any specific tips, advice to the new aspirants for not only CBAP but the other IIBA certification courses?
Okay, yeah, my advice is these two things helped me. One is to subscribe to simulation exams. While I was preparing initially, I didn't know about simulation exams. I was just reading and hoping to just walk in and write the exam. So I got to know about simulation tests around December, and I realized that I haven't read enough. So the simulation is very important. I used the Techcanvass simulation, I used watermark simulations, but I find Techcanvass simulation closer to the exam, closer to the real IIBA exams, CBAP exam rather, and I also find Techcanvass giving more explanation and details outside the simulation. Then another thing too that helped me rather, was study group. Sometimes in February, we formed a study group. I was able to connect to about 10 or 15 persons writing the CBAP exam between February and May, and then we're having classes. Sometimes you understand it better when someone on your level tries to explain to you. So my advice to anyone is go for it if you want to go for it. Don't look at it as something difficult. Have a study book, have a study group. Also try as much as you can to get the simulations and practice as you read. It will give you a better understanding of the CBAP.
That's great advice. Thanks, Chidima. So, how is life after your CBAP certification? You said like you got the certification in April. Any changes to your career, your workplace?
Oh, yes, a lot. I'm beginning to, there is this joy, where you have achieved something, and I'm beginning to put that into practice. It has actually boosted my confidence level in handling tasks, in also handling things. And I could say generally it has helped me to um, get work done easily, resolve complex problems, and also find solution to issues. And I've realized that my business office, for example, we've become more profitable because I'm able to use the skills acquired from the CBAP training to um, get the job done easily and also pass that to my colleagues as well. So every other person just does things the way it should be done, and then we get quick results. I'm just saying that. I'm seeing that not just only in me, even among my subordinates and my colleagues.
That's great. That's great. So, I mean, lastly, Chidima, I mean, obviously the CBAP preparation involves reading a lot of the BABOK, which is obviously a very big body of knowledge. So, how has that helped you? Have you been able to apply any of the principles in your workplace, in your day-to-day responsibilities? Do you have any examples for us?
Okay, yes, definitely I have. Um, in my workplace, I've handled some projects, especially rolling out products in the market. And it's now that I understand the concept of elicitation and collaboration. And I've been able to use that also in the new project we just handled. I've been able to use that to at least bring out strategies that we've implemented to get work done. But most importantly, there's something that I realized that I haven't been doing, which I just started doing. And I think that's the last knowledge area in the BABOK. That solution
Solution
evaluation
evaluation.
is something I started implementing now on my job. It's not just enough to, okay, I've gotten this project delivered. I always go back now to evaluate and then know what can be improved on and what can we take out. and what should we continue doing, and then give my feedback to management.
Those are great examples. Thanks, Chidimma, and thanks once again for taking out the time to give us this wonderful interview. Thanks for the tips and tricks, and hopefully the CBAP examination or the certification helps you in your career. So thank you once again. Bye, Chidimma.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.